everybody, this is Michelle. I wanted to give you an overview of a website tool, a website builder that you can use for your final project lesson. The one I'm showing you right now is called Zunal.com, Z-U-N-A-L.com. Once you register and log in, you're taken to a dashboard. And in the dashboard you can update your profile, which I recommend that you do, and you can create a web quest. I'm going to click Create a Web Quest. And I'm going to create a new web quest from scratch. Just be forewarned that Zunal, the free version, only lets you create one free web quest. So if you want to do another one, you have to delete the first one you did. You can only have one at a time. I'm clicking Create a New Web Quest from scratch. I'm going to put a title in here. Mine's going to be a no-brainer, EDU649, but I'd like you to name your lesson something more relevant, something that relates to your subject matter. I'm brought into the Zunal template. At the top left are a series of menu items that we can manipulate and rework, modify to meet our lesson needs. And there's a block of menu items towards the middle that you cannot modify. And there's a block at the bottom in gray that you cannot modify unless you are using the paid version. So the only ones we're going to worry about is the block of menu items along the top. And we're going to start with the welcome page. Here we are at the welcome page. And you can't do very much here. You can add the description, the grade level, curriculum, some things in here. But you can put a banner in or an image. So I'm going to put in something to just kind of make my website a little bit more inviting. I created a banner. I get a funny warning message. I just click continue. And it puts in my banner. Okay, I'm going to move on now to the next item in the menu series to the left, the introduction. Here we are on the introduction page. One more time, I'm going to add my banner, update image, browse. There's my banner on my local computer, and I say save. And there I am. All right, and below my banner is a little block of text. Gives you an idea of what an introduction should do. And one of the things is it's where you hook the learner's interest. So you want maybe to ask an intriguing question or something that kind of gets them pulled into your lesson. But the other thing that I'd like you to do is I just clicked update the content of that text block. So we want to motivate your learners here in the introduction, but we'd also like you to provide a nice description of your lesson, subject matter, and audience. Okay, and also provide overarching goals of your lesson. What are the learners going to be able to do after they've gone through all your learning objectives and they've come out the other side of your lesson? What is it that you really want them to be able to do after that? So once complete, what can your learners do that they couldn't do before? Okay. Okay, I click Save now. I get this little button, Saved. Please continue. And here I am on my introduction page with my new text that I just typed. I'm going to move on to the Task button. And I want to give you a heads up that you can change the name of these menu items. And I think that you should change, if you want to, the name task, because I think it's kind of meaningless. I don't think it has a lot of meaning. in my sense, I'm going to, over here to the right, there's a series of buttons that let me do different things with this page. I'm going to say rename, and I'm going to rename the menu title. I'm going to rename this one to Lesson Part 1. And I'd like you to give yours a meaningful name, not Lesson Part 1, but I'm using this term to share with you that if you have a lesson that involves more than a single instructional strategy or has kind of a build toward learner achievement, so in the first part maybe you have kind of the introduction to the subject matter, and in the middle part you have some exercises and activities around the subject matter, and in the last part maybe they do a presentation. So that would be maybe a 3-part lesson with different learning outcomes and different student achievements. So with that in mind, I'm going to rename this page to Lesson Part 1, and I say continue. Takes a second to update. There it is, Lesson Part 1. Again, I can add my banner and I can update my content. I'm going to go now to the 4th button to the left. And to me, again, this is going to be a continuation of the middle part of my lesson. So this will be Lesson Part 2. And I'll save that. Oops, forgot the second part of that. Let me get this. Long page title, Lesson Part 2. Save it. And again, I can add my banner when I'm ready to do that, and I can go in and modify the text block by clicking Update Content right here. Let's go here to the left again. Notice we have a button called Evaluation. I want to keep that button, but I want to move it to the bottom. I want to move it one, let's see. Yeah, I want to move it to the bottom. So I'm going to take that Evaluation button and I'm going to move it down, and it moves down right there. And if I wanted to, I could move it down one more. And now the evaluation is at the very bottom. The conclusion I also want to move down, so I'd want it to be Lesson Part 1, 2, 3, and then the conclusion. So I'm also going to click on the conclusion menu item and move that down. Okay, and now I'm going to change this teacher page. I'm going to rename it, and this is going to be Lesson Part 3 and Lesson Part 3. Save it. Okay. All right, so I'm going to show you now. So on the left I have Welcome, Introduction, Lesson Part 1. Again, I'd like you to rename it something like, you know, Subject Matter Overview, and then maybe, or Introduction to the content. So if I'm teaching about resilience, I would say Introduction to Resilience. And then I would say something about activities on resilience, or resilience activities. And then the last one would be a biography of someone who was a resilient person. So biographies, something like that. Then conclusion and evaluation. Okay. So if we go back to Lesson Part 1, we're going to go in to all of these lesson sections. And under Update Content, I'd like to see a step-by-step description of your lesson. Okay, this is as if someone is teaching it that doesn't know you. So you're handing this lesson over to someone, they're just starting fresh, they're looking at your description of the lesson right here, and they're going to teach it. Okay, so include full description of activities and your learning objectives. Those go here. Okay. Then step by step process list for each activity, breakout, etc. So write down the list right there is where you're going to have a full-blown part 1 lesson right here. I'm going to save it. And here it is. Now, if you want to add a web link, you can do that by simply going back into your update content and say that I want to add a web link. And I'm going to put, let's see, of my Duolingo, I'm going to add a little web link of this language learning website that I like a lot. Okay, so I put the little placeholder there. I highlight the word that I want to be linked. And notice that I have some tools right up here to the top, not very many, but I can add a link. So I highlight the item I want to link down below, and then in the icons at the top, I click Add Link. And it says, well, what's the URL that you want? So I'm going to go to the website that I like, this little Duolingo website. I'm going to go back to my webmaker. Okay, and I'm going to highlight that word again, click Add a Link, and I'm going to paste that link in, and the title will be Duolingo website. Now, please pay attention for a second. I'd like to ask that you open your web link in a new window. That way, the new website that you send them out to does not interfere with your lesson. If you had it open in the current window, that means it would push aside your lesson and open that website right there on top of your lesson, which we don't want to do. We want it to open in a new window. I'm going to save it. Saved, please continue. And to take a look at my link, doesn't look like it worked, but let me see if it did. I'm going to go up here to preview mode, and let's see what happens. Nope, my link didn't work. I'm going to try that again. Okay, let's try that link again, that web link. It should work. So if it doesn't work the first time, just try it again. We're going to go to the site, go into admin mode. You have to be in admin mode to make changes and updates. Here we go. I'm going to say on this page, update the content. And I'm going to highlight this word that I want to link out to another site. I'm going to go ahead and copy that URL into my clipboard of my computer, back to the Zunal class. Okay, I'm going to highlight the word that I want to link to, click the Add Link tab, put in my URL, and put in the title to Duolingo, and open in new window. And oh, I know what I did wrong. You have to click Submit Query in order to, so before you click Save, you have to click Submit Query. So once again, I highlight a word, click Link, put in my URL, put in my title, and then I put New Window, and I submit the query right here. And now there's my two links. I say Save Now. And voila, there they are. And again, if they're not working here, I can click Preview Mode, and it shows me what it's going to look like to a user or a learner that comes along. Here we go. I click my link that I just created. It opens up in a new window. And here I am. And I go back to my lesson and it's all good to go. So that's how to create a link. I'm going to show you how to add an image. It's a little bit tricky. So I'm going to go to a new window. I'll go to lesson part 2. I'm on a new page in my lesson. Okay, here I am now in the page called lesson part 2, and I have some tutorials. Very much in the same kind of tutorials that you are supposed to do for your final project. So for these tutorials, I have instructions for adding an image in Zunal, and I have instructions for linking to a file in Zunal. So let's start with the image. Here's the instructions. I'm actually going to take you through it. And the first thing you do is upload your image file using the resources below and save it. Let's go take a look at what the heck I'm talking about here. So here we are. There's a series of icons at the bottom underneath my lesson. I'm going to go ahead and click Add Resources, and I can add a contact section, I can add a website, I can attach a file. I'm going to add a photo, and I'm going to go look for that photo. I'm going to add I think I will add the rainbow from the 21st Century logo. So I'm going to call it 21st Century logo. All right, and I'll say save it and continue. And there it is. There's my 21st Century logo image. And earlier, to test, before I went on with this presentation, I tried out the adding another image. So I also added the pedagogy wheel. So I have 2 images now connected to this page called Lesson 2, Part 2. All right, now I see my image file below in the lesson window. There they are, 1, 2 images. Next step, click the image file. It opens in a new window, and then I'm going to highlight it by clicking directly on the image to select it. Okay, and then I'm going to select File and Copy in my browser window and come back to the lesson page. I know this just sounds very confusing right now, so let's go do it. I'm going to click on my image. The file is here connected to this page. I'm going to click it. Here it is. It opens in a new window. Here's my beautiful image. I'm going to click it to select it, or actually I'm going to, under Edit, I'm going to say Select All. When I say Select All, notice it highlights by turning blue. I click off of it, it turns white again. It's not selected in my browser. Edit, Select All, and it turns blue again. Now it's selected. Now I go back to Edit and I say Copy. So first I have to select what I want to copy, and then I have to copy it. 2 steps. Okay, so now I've copied it and it's stored inside of my computer clipboard. Now I go back to the lesson. Here I am, back in my lesson with the image stored in my computer clipboard. Okay, and now I go back to my lesson page and select Update Content, paste and resize my image. Here I am, I say update the content. I'm going to paste my image right here, and I'm going to go into Edit, Paste. There's my gorgeous image. And now I can resize it by using the little handles and watch my mouse as it goes from a pointing arrow to a stretch arrow. I move it to one of these little handles, these little boxes, and I'm going to stretch it down to a smaller image. And there it is. There's my great image. Let's do it one more time. I click where I want my image to go. Actually, I better save this, huh? There we go. Okay, back, down to the pedagogy wheel. I want to link this one up. I click the file, the image that I uploaded. Right now, here it is. I have to select it in order to save it to my clipboard. I select all, it turns blue, edit, copy, it's saved in my clipboard, go back to my lesson, update my lesson content, go to where I want that image to be pasted, and I have my cursor blinking right here. This is where I want it to be pasted. I say edit, paste. There's that big gorgeous mobile apps file image, and I shrink it down, and there it is. Good to go. Okay, save it. So I just want to say that I've tried a bunch of different ways of adding images to this Zunal, and this is the only one that works. The other ones crash. So really just follow these. Don't try and forge ahead in your own pioneering way of adding images. It just doesn't work. I've tried a lot of different things. So go ahead and just go with these lessons. Here's my tutorial. Go ahead and just use that. Okay? Now, let's say that you have a lesson plan, and I've got, say I want to link up something within my lesson. I want to link a file. So I'll say that I have a tutorial. It's written in Microsoft Word, and I want to link it right here. So I go down and I go back to my resources. Okay, I have the tutorial right here, instructions for linking to a file. Upload your file using the resources below and save it. So I'm going to add resources, and I'm going to attach a file. Here we go. I'm going to go find that file, and let me think. I found one earlier. Let's take a look at what that was. Let's go ahead and connect up something maybe from the class. Here we go. Let's click up something from the class. Let's connect up the oh darn it. Let's connect up the 649 final project rubric. I know you guys are excited to see that. 649 final project rubric. Okay, save that. Continue. And check it out. I've not only attached 2 images, but I've attached the final project rubric, which is a Microsoft Word document. Okay, good to go. Now, I want to again click on that rubric. See what happens to it. Oh, okay, it downloads it. All right, this time you're actually going to let's see, you're going to highlight that link. So here it is. If I click it, it downloads it. But I'm actually going to just copy that little link down here. Highlight it, edit, copy. Now that link is stored in the clipboard. I'm going to go and paste it up above. I say update content. And I want to link it down here. I'm going to say, here is my newly linked file. And I'm going to paste it. There it is. Woohoo. And I say save. Save, please continue. And let's take a look and see if that worked. And bravo, it does. And it comes down as a new file. Here it is. And there's that 649 project rubric, which you guys should be looking at right about now. Okay? Okay, I'm done. And I've got, when you go to the conclusion, you can add a little conclusion for your evaluation. I'm just going to tell you that your evaluation better link up to your learning objectives, okay? And that's about all I have for Zunal. I think you'll like this opportunity to use this particular website tool, and have fun. If you have any questions, I'm always available. Thanks, everybody.